You know, it's been so long since I've been back to the old workshop to make something, and I gotta say, it is so nice to be back, even if what I'm making is rather quite simple. Ironically, for something so simple, I'm not exactly sure of the name that I'll call them, because they're not quite hinges, you know, they don't bear the weight of the doors, and they're not really brackets, they sort of fall somewhere in between. Either way, you'll see these used later in the video. Now, if you're not quite up to speed on the project, I'm building a soundproof pod in my garage for my future workshop. Keep the noise in because I tend to run a lot of this loud equipment at night and on the weekends. That being said, soundproof project or not, this part always would have happened. Because as you can see, there is a missing fourth wall between the metalworking room and what will become a woodworking/automotive storage room. Now, I went over this in a previous video, but for better or for worse, there are unfortunately laws which make it very difficult for you to legally cut your garage in half with a permanent stud wall. The laws are really there to stop people turning their garages into extra bedrooms, but unfortunately, with the way that they're written, cutting the garage in half with a stud wall to create two separate workshops was sort of ruled out. Now look, am I really worried about it being an issue? Not really. If I wasn't going to post this on the internet, I probably would have just put up a stud wall. And that is where the plan for using these big partitions come in, because they are technically allowed because they are not fixed and non-permanent. But the thing is, even if I wasn't trying to make a soundproof workshop and all I was trying to do was simply chop the space in half, I probably would have still done something like this. Because whilst most of the projects that I do are small in scale, I still want the option to be able to open up the workshop and be able to do large-scale projects. You know, it's not something I'm planning on doing very often, so it doesn't warrant making a large metal working room, but it is nice to have the option if needed. And I say this all as someone who really doesn't care for modular design. I still think that if you design for everything, you design for nothing, but I think in this instance, modular design will be important. Because we do want some level of soundproofing, we can't just use a lightweight partition door. And as for the construction, I'm simply going to do what has worked already. So I'll go with a timber framing, I'll use sound insulation, I'll line with plywood, put some gyprock on it, try and seal it with some rubber, and hopefully I can find a way to get it to move. So I guess let's get started. So I guess we'll start off where this series began, which is the ever-shrinking pile of wood. And believe it or not, we'll need most of this for building the partitions. I know this does look like a lot of wood, but this takes a deceptively large amount of wood to make, since what we're making is technically 4 stud walls in total. Which does sound like overkill, but it should make it a lot more stable and less likely to tip over. And with the wood now marked up, I can now get it cut. Oh, of course that happens now. On the bright side, this can be fixed pretty easily with a new plug, which is 100% legal to do. Alright, let's start cutting. And that is all the wood now cut. Before I start framing, I'll use the circular saw to make a partial cut on the bottom plate. This will make it a lot easier to cut out the timber when the door jamb has to go in. I'll then take my router and then cut a step in that is about 5mm deep and runs about 2 meters long. Now this will be for a piece of steel which will run underneath the door jamb. And the reason for it is to keep the door frame in shape when I am moving the partition around. We'll see it in use later on, but I will state for the record right now that it does work. What unfortunately didn't work was a second slot that I cut in, which was for a piece of D-shaped rubber sealing. And the purpose for it was to seal under the door to keep the sound from escaping. Unfortunately, it kept falling out, so it eventually got replaced with a rubber strip which will sit under the skirting. Now the overall construction of these partitions come along in pretty much the exact same way as the other walls which we made. The studs are 600mm on centre with 2 nails per stud. Now the larger partition also gets a door frame, which means it also needs an additional jack stud on either side and a double header at the top. Now, because the partition will be subject to a fair amount of uneven force when I have to move it, I'll be using both strap bracing and plywood bracing to try and prevent it from bracking and cracking the plasterboard. Originally, I was only going to use ply for doing this, but the strap bracing will also help square it up. And once that's in, I'll then add the strapping for the insulation. I can then get the wall up. And as you can see, a single stud partition is way too unstable to stay up by itself. This is one reason why I'm doubling them up, to try and widen the base and make it a bit more stable. Until that though, I'll stabilise it with a bit of wood. I'll then add the tensioners to the strapping to try and square up the wall. I can then get the frame on the ground, and then I'll come in with the steel bracing plate and drill and countersink about 12 holes so I can screw it into the studs. That should be more than enough for what I need here. Now, to widen this wall a little bit more, I am going to be spacing them a bit further apart using a piece of framing timber. This stuff is only going around the outside perimeter. And just to try and damp the transfer of vibration from one wall to another, I'll use some rubber between the wood and the spacer block. It may not make a huge difference, but I thought it might be worth adding it just to see if it does anything. And with that now done, we can then get that wall up. I can then get an identical wall that I also made up against it and then fastened in. Alright, and that is the first of the double stud walls now up. So far, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out, and it's actually a lot more rigid than I thought it was going to be. So far I am pretty confident that this should work. With that said though, there's still a lot more and a lot more weight that we need to put on before we can see if this works or not. First thing of course though, being filling it in with insulation. And I am glad that this is the last time that I have to do this, at least for the walls. I'll still fill the roof space with insulation, and speaking of which, most of the offcuts from the wall have been shoved into the ceiling because this stuff is way too expensive to be throwing out, and it should do a good job in the ceiling. Now, in addition to the strapping, I'm also adding a layer of structural plywood to the outside. In addition to stopping the wall from bracking, it's also going to support the layer of gyprock that's going on after this. And because I'm not going for a mid-century modern look, I'll be covering up the plywood walls with plasterboard. The plasterboard may look a little bit boring, but in fairness to it, it was not very good plywood. Certainly not one that you would want as a wall. Before I do that though, I will add some roof and gutter silicone to the plywood to try to damp the transfer of sound from the plasterboard and into the wood. So the first partition wall now done, what we need to do now is find a way to move this. Because as it is at the moment, this is a 300 kilogram wall that is not going anywhere anytime soon. Now moving 300 kilograms is not a huge task once we get it moving on wheels, and that is the plan here. But of course moving something like this that weighs 300 kilograms, soon to be 400 once I add the doors, is something that is going to be very dangerous. And not to mention, once it's on wheels and I'm pushing it around, trying to locate it correctly is going to be a bit of a task. Or it would be if it wasn't on hinges. And that is where the pivot brackets that I designed earlier will come in. Now I will say for the record that it has been a while since I designed and made these, and it is certainly something that I would like to come back and revisit once I have the workshop set up in here. For what they are, they should be more than enough. That being said, they should work and they should prevent the door from tipping over. Construction. So they are pretty solid. And they should be okay for the moment. But looking at them now, there is certainly a lot that I would like to improve. So let's call these V1. But the other thing they should do is allow the door to pivot. Let me move around the door, but when the door needs to be put back, I can put it back into the same position. And as for the wheels that I'm using, I'm going to be using those step-to-raise wheel casters. Technically they're made for workbenches, but what really matters is the load rating. Each of them should be good for about 100 kilos, but just to be safe, I have 8 of them on the long wall and 4 of them on the shorter one, which would give me a good 400 kilos of breathing room. And it's also worth saying that in normal use, these will be buried behind workbenches, so there is no need to worry about a trip hazard. The important thing though is, does it work? And I've got to say, it doesn't take as much force to lift it as I imagined. And I've got to say, I was relieved to see it work so smoothly. Despite the size, it is pretty stable. But I guess the most important thing is it now takes it from a non-compliant wall to a movable partition. So far it is looking really promising. Now of course at this point I really would like to push it out and really open up the space again. But as it is at the moment, there is a ton of stuff on the other side. So what I'll do instead is push it about a third of the way, which will give me enough space to construct the second door. And the second one comes together in much the same way, except for the fact that it is smaller and it doesn't need to have a door. And the reason why this one is smaller is that I wanted it to be the same width as the automotive storage room, which is only about 2.4 meters wide. The plan is also for this one to be quicker and easier to open. That way when I want to move in the lathe and the mill, I have one partition which I can quickly open to reveal a large entryway. And it should be a lot easier to move the carts out of the way than it is to move around the workbenches in the wood room. And that is the second partition now done. Before we can call it done though, we do need to do the rebate so that when the partitions close, they can form a proper seal. You know, these doors are so thick that I had to use 45mm framing timber, and even then, we were just barely scraping by to get the clearance. It's also worth saying that these will get a rubber seal and some skirting to cover the join line. Alright, and that's the partition walls now built. They're not done yet, but they are now built. I'm still not sure how well they'll perform in terms of soundproofing because there are a few panel gaps and I have yet to add a lot of the seals. The biggest gap obviously being the one at the top, which we will have to fix with some skirting. Well, skirting combined with seals. The only thing that didn't come out perfectly was the alignment at the end wall. Unfortunately, there is a very slight gap at the top. Nothing we can't fix, but it sort of is what it is. I've also added some bracing at the back to tie the two partitions together to make it a bit more stable. And I'll be adding a few more pieces to try and tie it to the overall frame. As it is at the moment, it's already quite stable, but I do want to try and make it a bit more safe for when it's not being moved around. So it'll be constrained at both sides to make sure that it can't wobble around. And we'll get to this in a future video. Outside of that though, it has come out looking a lot better than expected. I know all of this was a crazy idea and we don't know how well it's going to work, but I think in the future I'm going to be very thankful that I did it. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And with that, thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.